just for a minute. Close your eyes for a second.
It started with no shots, and that got into a whole nother situation, and it ended with a double shot. Now, what am I talking about? This particular episode, Brit was literally PMSing, okay? The emotional highs were really high and the emotional lows were really low. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to my channel, Poshcateyes Unfiltered. Thank you so much for staying on this channel. Now, I want to say something. I want to give a shout out to my mom. My mom, if I know no one is watching, I know my mom is watching. She watches and gives my video a like. So thank you so much, Mom, for supporting this channel. It means a lot to me that you're watching, and please keep watching and share the channel with your friends so they can get on YouTube, so they can get computer tech savvy, watch my channel and get the numbers up. Yes, seriously, I am so serious. Like, thank you so much, Mom, for supporting me. And for you out there who's yet to subscribe, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for my next commentary uploads. Share this channel with your friends. Let them know what you're having here or what you're eating here. Let them come and watch as well. With that being said, let's get into the shenanigans. That was the Real Housewives of Atlanta episode 13. Now, before we get into this episode, there were a whole lot of news that came out over the weekend. Now, I don't have time to run all of this commentary, but I'm just going to pack the punch on this particular episode, okay? So we knew the reunion episode aired or was shot sometime, I think Thursday last week, and the biggest news that came out of that was Brit was a no-show. Now, you would think that was all that we were going to hear. No. Brit came out, put up a statement on Instagram to say she was not going to, we now know she's a no-show. She gave a few excuses as to why, she wasn't in attendance. And we thought, okay, man, maybe she had reviewed the season. I mean, it was a year in the making and has decided some things were not suited or did not favor her for her to come on the reunion, because as you all know, if you are not ready for the comebacks or the attacks, you're just gonna be miserable in the reunion, just like Kaale did and had to walk away. And so we actually thought that was Brit's motivation, or should I say the motive surrounding her absence at the reunion. We already know Kenya was invited and disinvited, given the fact that all of the issues that had happened at the early onset of this season. And then the next day, boom, is it People's or Us Weekly, one of those US news channel or news media, came out with a statement saying Brit is suing Bravo plus Universal plus NBC, Truly Original. In fact, the brainchild behind the reality franchise. She is suing them for, I think, $20 million, guys. And what is she suing for? She's suing for defamation. I think she came out to also say in her statement that she has now watched the Photogate saga back and realized that the images that were depicted, or the photos that were depicted during Kenya Moore's salon launch, were actually not of hers. Now, we're talking about this whole situation. This particular season resonated because of the situation that happened at the Kenya Moore hair care launch. And so Brit is now coming out to say, yes, she wasn't present, she wasn't privy to these images, and now having to have seen the images herself, she has realized that the images that were depicted were not hers. Now, I am not sure how long it took production to shut the show down, to carry out the proper investigation prior to firing or suspending Kenya Moore, and not reviewing the footage with the supposed victim who cried me a river on an entire episode, told us how the particular image damaged her reputation, her business, her everything, only for us to wake up over a year after saying the images were not mine. And I don't know who that was. But regardless, you have defamed me, destroyed my reputation. And so I'm coming for you to the sum of $20 million. Make this make sense, because it is not making sense. I was so confused. I'm like, What is going on? Now, where does this leave us? Because it does seem that NBC, Bravo, and all the exec did not carry out an investigation. Because if they did their due diligence, they won't be here. We do know with an institution like NBC, you would know they have got legal representations lying in wait. They are prepared for things like this. And I'm sure contracts that would have been signed prior to you joining this franchise would have been so airtight that it leaves you very little wiggle room to actually sue them. So I am not sure how this is going to play out, or how this now impacts on Keyamo coming back, or now maybe fully suspended or expelled from this entire franchise. It is a mess. And to be frank, I am finding this a little bit ridiculous that Brit Edie waited to literally go through 17 episodes. The entire time they were filming, she continued filming and did not say anything. And only now is putting out a statement to say, oh, the images were not me. This is stretchy as. Now, I would say this. Let this be Brit Edie's final season. Like, because she came, did not even conquer. She came, gave us nothing. She came and is leaving the scene in tatters. Now, this particular episode, I am not sure. It was meant to be renewed. I don't think there's anything renewed out of it. Now, I would say the men from Grenada, they're handsome. They're giving cute vibes. Even the Prime Minister. I'm thinking the Prime Minister, he is married, and the housewives couldn't help themselves. If I was one of the house, I probably would have, because the guy was giving cute, man. Apologies to his wife. I don't know how much she is trying to deal with all of the side chicks coming around, but that man is cute. Oh my God, well composed, well spoken, very well mannered, and all of that. Wow. I think I need to book a flight to the Caribbean, specifically Grenada. Invite me. Kidding. And so the episode actually started with I'm gonna say this. I have said it a few episodes now. I think Angela and Charles, they have got something going on that they are refusing to address that might, down the track be a cause for concerns when it comes to their marriage. Now, she kept trying to get a hold of her husband to no avail. She rang to no avail. And that literally saw her mood tank. It saw the entire, Angela's entire mood this particular episode was that of sadness. Now, we know she is meant to be celebrating her anniversary, and she feels that the fact that she isn't in Atlanta is the reason why maybe Charles is upset, because he's not going to get anything. He's going to get some sensual excitement, and so he's upset. I'm like, yeah, nah. He should be happy, to give you a call, knowing that you're having your time, and once you get back, it will be the both of you having the time of your lives. Well, I really don't know. There's something that is shaky there. She's trying to sell it, but I am not buying whatever she's selling. But I love Angela. I love me some Angela. I love her honesty. I love her dignity. So I love her. It's just who she is. But there's just a lot going on when it comes to what is not happening in her marriage. Now, apparently the night prior, the girls that went out to have a good dinner, and as well they had some alcohol, and Brit got intoxicated, well and truly intoxicated. And I think Brit decided she wasn't going to have any more shots for the entire trip. Now, and here's the reason that I said I started the commentary with one shot, double shot. It started with one shot and ended up with double shot. Now, you know what? I think it kind of rubbed Shamea the wrong way, because Shamea was the one offering the shots, and Brit is realizing, well, I don't want to be drunk, quite frankly. Maybe I don't know how to hold my alcohol, and so shots might not be for me. And I mean, Brit is matured enough to decide what she doesn't want to take or put in her system, right? For Shamea to be in her feelings was a little bit, it's very tanty. It's giving petty, it's giving tantrum, it's just giving, don't try to control her. Now I saw Brit's side, I took Brit's side on this part because she said she didn't want shots because she did not think it went down well with her system. And that's fair. That's a fair statement to make. But it sort of descended into, you know, side comments. There were snide comments, left, right. And I guess we all know the fact that Brit donated 3 toilet paper or paper towels, you know, for the cause was going to bring about some type of, you know, confrontation. And it did, because apparently the other girls talked about the fact that she didn't really show up in terms of donation. And according to how Shamea put it, if you have a Birkin or you drive a Rolls Royce, you know, if you're going to be doing charity, it should be a little bit more than 2 cents. Not, you know, you should not try and not sell who you are. Represent in full, even when you do charity, even when you become charitable. I see some sense to that. However, we're talking about Brit here. Brit could not feed her guests that attended her premiere event where she wanted to launch her product barely naked. She couldn't feed those people. Now, if you don't know how that was bad PR for her prospective business, then it tells you you don't even know who you're dealing with. The girl is broke, pretending to be rich. And I'm even sure the rosary might not be hers, maybe borrowed, who knows, allegedly. I'm just going to put that out there, because I don't understand why she would donate $20 worth of stuff to a country who desperately needs these donations. And so the call out was necessary. I thought maybe wrong timing. That was what it probably was, because it then became a whole lot of nothing that shouldn't have been. Now, we have seen a progression between Drew and Posha, which is good, because all season long, Posha has been giving Drew the cold shoulder. Now, this particular trip is sort of doing good for the relationship. They had to divide themselves into 2 groups, with one going to see the lake and the other food tasting and wine tasting or rum tasting. Now, they all came together, but before they went, you could see Drew, you know, and Posha trying to cohabitate. They were going through divorces, so it's sort of hard to get a final word to qualify what they're trying to get at. But they have sort of buried the hatchet a bit, and now sort of leveling or playing in the same playground. And I'm gonna say, thank God, however long this lasts, let's just enjoy it. Now, chapter 2, Renew, wasn't really giving much for Renewer. Shamea started it off, you know, losing her luggage. Now the luggage is literally untrackable, and I hope she probably would have lost a lot of her personal belongings if you cannot track your luggage 2 days into your trip. And so she's like giving us the one-liners, the nice sponsors in her confessionals, which was good. I know I vibed to those, and it got to the point where I'm gonna say Phaedra came for a reason. Phaedra came to unite the group, because even whilst the conversation with regards to donations and shots, Phaedra actually gave good sage advice to Brit in saying that as a classy lady that you are, it should be no less than $1,000. And I kind of agree. You know, you don't want to sell yourself short in the group dynamics, and you also don't want to come very thrifty and thrifty and should I say stingy to the public. And so I guess Brit sat on that and understood that, yeah, she might have missed the bag on the charitable efforts that she sort of lacked. In saying that, though, Phaedra has, you know, I don't know, we'll say 2 episodes in, is she giving us Phaedra moments? Not quite. In her confessional, yes, but I can see why her addition was needed. This particular new group trying to merge with the old group, there's a very huge disconnect, and so Phaedra's fun, witty self is trying to, marry the gap or bridge the gap and merge the two sides into becoming a wholesome. I know that we probably won't get the results in this particular season. Maybe next season there will be something to come, but we already know that Brit is not going to be featuring next season, given the fact that she was a no-show at reunion and now she's suing the entire company for $20 million. There's no way she's coming back to the franchise. She has, like ripped the band-aid off, pulled off the red carpet if there was ever anyone that was in existence. And yeah, I do not know how this is going to play out with regards to her career venture in media, but this is definitely not the way you exit. It's not the way you exit. Hollywood knows how to hold a grudge, if I should say that. Now, this particular episode, like I said, it didn't really give much. It did not give much. Brit was trying to hold people accountable for reasons best known to her. She felt like she wasn't supported, and whenever anyone was trying to have a conversation to that effect or a dialogue, Brit was on the defense, and so it left very little to be desired, to the point where they argued up until the Prime Minister was 2 steps away from them. And I'm like, girl, this is not that serious. You could have this argument later. Like, why do we need to do this now? You have got a special guest that's coming to honor you guys here. Now cut the chaos, cut the drama, and get on with it. Like, this is too childish. It's too childish. They didn't manage to get their act together, even though it was just for 20 minutes, but that was what we needed. That was what we needed. The particular episode didn't really end in a good term. We saw Shamea get on the phone with her husband. That has to do with her sick kid, and she kind of felt, I think, the guilt of her being away and the kids not being well taken care of. It ate her deep inside, and it led to the girls rallying around her to show some type of support. At the end, Brit came around and professed full support for Shamea, and understood that sometimes when we need to show up for our friends or create or form the sisterhood, you have to be there. Differences aside, I'm supporting you. I would say she did go all out, and when I mean go all out, to the point where we saw her going barely naked. Not even a shapewear could cover her. Brit is a very beautiful girl. I'm gonna give her that. She is a beautiful young woman. I just feel like she doesn't embody what it takes to be in the limelight. That's just what she's missing. She lacks that star quality, and no matter how you force it, if you don't have it, you don't have it. And yeah, so we saw her, and she didn't want to have some shots after she had a night that was quite too many shots, and she made a fool of herself. She ended up closing this night with a few shots and more champagne. So let's just say Brit Edie can talk through her mouth, but then at the end of the day, it goes one and comes out the other and leaves us confused. Not me, but it sort of just leaves us confused, because it looks as if she is clamoring for attention, where sometimes she necessarily doesn't need to fight it. It should just be a given, and we don't know. Now, we're going to have to watch this space. Next episode, let's see what plays out. It's finally the rebet. Renew didn't give what it was meant to be renewing. There was no renewing there. And I'm hoping that rebet will definitely be something, okay? Because this will be the last night with the ladies in Grenada. Now, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, there wasn't much of a recap, but yeah, we got a few things. I want to see what happens with Angela and Charles when Angela goes back to celebrate her anniversary with Charles. And I don't know how enthusiastic he's going to be with welcoming her back, but safe to say we're not holding our breath. Now, come on the comment section and share your thoughts with regards to the Brit $20 million lawsuit against NBC, Universal, Truly Original, and all whatnot. Like, this is major. Like, not even Nene Leakes did this, and she has had to eat eat her words. I don't know, guys. It's a hard one. But thank you so much again for watching. Keep supporting this channel. I will see you on my next recap. You're deserving. Stay safe and remain focused.